This is Paul. Now, the ECFA, yeah, a lot of charities are really suffering from this pandemic. Now, accredits 2,000 churches and ministers across the United States. They have annual revenue of $25 billion. And I wanted to look at those 501c3s. Yeah. Oh, it has been recognized 2010, 11, 13 on the Nonprofit Times Power and Influence Top 50 list and honored in the Hall of Fame of the National Association of Church Business Administration. Could you get me all of those? The actual individuals in the top 50, Power and Influence. Pooch! Association of Church Administration, and all 2,000 churches and ministries across the United States. Now, I just want to remind you that Mike Van Proy's a mandatory reporter. Yeah. And Mike was getting all my court notices for the last 8 years and 9 months. And he was abusive to his own wife, and I thought she wanted a legal separation. I mentioned I was suing Foursquare and Rotary right now. Now, I'm interested to know exactly what influence Mike Van Proyn had about me being mentally ill. Yes, the legal separation of my wife and my 5 sons that I can't be separated from. Ooh! And the whole idea of Mike's influence in the courts of the United States of America. Now, I mentioned that I wanted Mike prosecuted. Yes, because it seemed that every time I was named in some legal correspondence. Yes, Mike kept getting that because I didn't change my last known address. Yes. And I thought for sure that when I was living at 1023 Kitchen Dick Road during the time of the dissolution of marriage, yeah, that my wife thought she was legally separated from me during that dissolution of marriage when she wasn't. Now, I know you're saying she was, but I would say on May 24th, yeah, the actual separation never took place on Guam. Pooch! Now, a lot of times when somebody petitions for a dissolution of marriage, there's the thought of legal separation at the time of petitioning for dissolution of marriage. Yeah. Now, in the state of Washington, you would say we're residents. Hush! Shoot. Mm-hmm. But just petitioning for dissolution of marriage, considering the jurisdiction of Guam at the time of being residents. Yes. The arrest that took place on the 27th and the arraignment of the May 29th of 2012. On Guam, just because you petition for dissolution of marriage, it does mean that you are not legally separated. It means that you're petitioning for dissolution of marriage. Pooch! Different kind of concept. Now, let's say that I wanted to sue this state. Yes, every state. Yes. And all the mandatory reporters of the 501c3s for having any knowledge of this fraud. Because I do. I know it's a difficult time. You're not able to use your church buildings. But I think, yes, that somebody must be there right now. All the pastors that have been spending time fixing up the place, yep, doing some extra work, ooch, inviting individuals over. You haven't been violating that 6 foot rule. No, you keep yourselves separated 6 feet. Is that right? You know, I thought for sure, yes, that Mike had conspired against me, especially when he used a picture of my sister, Susan Bowers, in a Rotary newsletter. And when I texted Marilyn that said I loved her, yes, he does. I'm telling you. Now, Kitchen Dick Road was getting all my correspondence, and I wondered, was there anything from the Gomanian court that was sent there without my knowledge? Anything from the United Nations that was sent there? Yes. Any child support orders or wage garnishments? Did child support try to contact me and use the 1023 Kitchen Dick Road address? Because when you get court notices sent, yeah, and it's the defendant's copy, yes, to this address, yes, I would think that the state was using the same last known address as child support. Now, since I didn't get a child support right now, I think Mike intentionally wanted me to go to prison for failure to pay child support. Yes, because Mike thought, yes, if he doesn't get notice of his child support orders, he will actually get arrested for failure to pay. Now, since that address was not my, oh, look, it's 3:33 p.m. Oh, I wonder if my clock stopped. No, no, it looks like it's still working. About right now! I'm going to need to know all correspondence that CPS, CSS, and any other state or government agency sent to this address. Yes, because not getting any correspondence from anybody, pouch, looks like Mike conspired against me having the availability to contest. Well, let's say I called Child Support Services. My name's Paul Budnick. You issued a wage garnishment from July 2nd of 2011. That's the documentation that was served on me at 1023 Kitchen Dick Road at the time of the arrest. My wife doesn't get paid that money. Pouch! Right now. Now we're going to have an argument. You have an argument with a state employee? I, I'm suing you. Now, they're going to say, no, actually, at the time of the arrest, she gets paid child support. And I'm like, no, we didn't legally separate. She accused me of a crime. I'm like, no, the children were separated at the time of the arrest. I'm like, no, they weren't. They weren't legally separated because they were residents of Guam. They're going to say, no, they're residents of Washington State because you lived here. And I'm saying, no, we applied for our passports on Guam. Then they're going to say, yeah, you don't have to pay child support. Now, for the idiots in the state of Washington right now,